really good article I read about, and this has been irking me for a while, and I really want to get into this acidification of the oceans.
The oceans are 30% more acidic.
Right. As compared to what is the question?
Then whatever.
Mm-hmm. All of this data, the NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, apparently their chart, which they show this acidification, which means that carbon dioxide is not able to get out past the greenhouse gas blanket, and therefore is going into the ocean and causes acidification of the ocean.
Making carbonated water.
Interesting. Why don't they just say carbonated? Why do they say acidified?
Well, carbonated water is acidified.
But it sounds so much like acid, like battery acid, or
it does. Yeah, but what it is Coca-Cola.
Good. Well, this is good. Diet Coke. The charts they use only start in 1988. And this is just another version of data falsification. And they do have data from at least 100 years earlier than that. But they're not showing that because then the hockey stick doesn't work so well. So I'm looking into finding more ways to debunk this acidification bull crap.
I don't understand why all the algae, which there's tons of in the ocean, and all the other plants don't suck up all that CO2. That's never been explained to me.
Yeah, I really don't... I really don't know.
And then we have these huge algae blooms, which seems to me to really require a lot of CO2, and they'd suck it all up. I don't get it.
Well, according to the head of...
What do they mean by acidification? Total acid or pH?
I'm going to read the relevant paragraph. According to Jane Lubchenco, head of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, it is, quote, climate change's equally evil twin, unquote, because of the disastrous consequences it may have for everything from the navigational systems of spawning salmon to the health of coral reefs. Ocean acidification is said to be caused when excess atmospheric carbon dioxide is absorbed by the sea, reducing its pH levels to make it more acidic.
Bitch, look it up, it's science.
There you go. Well, I'm on kind of a mission now because this is being thrown in my face more often now.
Because I see it too, and
it's annoying that we don't understand. I don't understand science. I'm trying to.
Well, that's why you'd be better off looking into it because you'll find out.
Science! Yeah, exactly. About
non-science stuff.
Meanwhile, big
show. This is interesting.
What?
Lubchenco went to St. Mary's Academy, a Catholic girls' school, studying Ford Independent Studies scholar at Colorado College. Got a BA in biology. Colorado College, which Jay's friend attended.
Is that the weed school?
I've never no. Colorado College. If you actually start looking at it, it's a feeder school. For CIA, government diplomats. It's a feeder school. It's like Berkeley is secretly. So this is questionable right off the bat. She did go to graduate school at University of Washington, which helps a little. She got an MS in zoology, then moved to Cambridge, where she completed her PhD in 75 Marina College at Harvard. Once you get on the track, you can go to
when was she
waltz into these schools?
When was she nominated? When was she brought into NOAA? Do you get nominated for that? Or you just get hired? NOAA is that do you have to go through some kind of thing?
I don't think so. I think you just get hired.
Wow, another gig I'll never get.
No, you don't get the voiceover either. Instead, there'd be a guy who says chef. It wasn't even that.
Well, she's interesting. I'll look into her. This is what I love doing. This, by the way, I do live for this kind of thing. All right, onward to the Eurozone, Euroland. Big news as we go towards the snap election. When is this thing due? This Greek election is coming up the 25th, I think.
Yes, this month.
Yeah, I think it's the 25th. Let me just check. January 25th. And according to the polls, which means nothing, the anti-austerity guys looks like they're now ahead 3-1, and their platform is screw the EU, screw austerity, screw the loans. We're not going to do it anymore, which would ultimately result in a possible default. And the word is back, the Grexit, the Greek exit from the Eurozone. Angela Merkel is all over this.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel believes the Eurozone could cope with a potential Greek exit, according to the magazine Der Spiegel. It says her government considers a Greek goodbye almost unavoidable if Prime Minister Antonis Samaras is replaced in power by the left-wing Syriza party in this month's election.
This will be quite interesting to watch. And
I think they've been anxious to get rid of Greece. They lie. They cook the books. They don't give them the right numbers. They're unreliable as a partner in the EU. They want to get rid of them.
Right.
It's all geared up for them getting tossed. Then they'll make them suffer for a while, and then.
Well, I would think that you're probably correct now that all the assets have already been distributed. You remember that corporation that came in to sell off all the assets? I forget the name of it. But just like Berlin, East Berlin, when they tore down the wall, then they had these companies come in, and all of a sudden, all the cool stuff that you really want is in hands of Russians, including the oil facilities, gas facilities. I don't think it matters to them anymore. It's like, screw those guys. We'll write it off. But what are Greece's options? Do they go back to the drachma? Do they?
It's become a country. Yeah, the drachma and their own central bank, and they have to pick up the pieces. It's going to be a mess.
Yeah,
probably.
We should go visit if it's going to be so messed up. We should go check it out.
We should. Things will be cheap.
It'll be fun. Well, things already are cheap. I think we've missed that boat.
Yeah. Well. No, Greece was doing fine before this all began.
Yeah. Thank you, Goldman Sachs.
But they were lying on their paperwork.
Yeah, the guys who did the deals with Goldman were lying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. Well, I find it. This has been on our radar for years. We've seen all this happen. We've continuously said the whole thing is bull crap, and the trifecta of the Commission, the IMF, and what's the third one?
World Bank, USAID. I don't know. So I got a letter anonymously from a guy who used to work at CNN. And this is a note that says, concerning the president's, you have this note.
Yes, I do.
Concerning the president's statement about self-censorship, which we discussed on the show, which takes place commonly with journalists.
And this was him talking about Sony and warning that we should, as a country, particularly journalists, not start any self-censorship.
Right. And I said this is bullcrap.
Because the terrorists win then.
The terrorists win. The terrorists win if they have a TSA. Used to work at CNN. In May 2005, we broke the Great Firewall of China story. This was that Yahoo, Microsoft, Google were helping China censor the internet for its people. This was when Google said, don't be evil, and were reportedly holding back anonymous search engine data on pedophile searches from the U.S. government.
Yeah, my favorite.
Almost seems fictional at this point, knowing what we know. So the story, top story on the site, and on T1.
Yeah, and they were rolling it every 15 minutes on the air, right?
Yeah, and on the ticker of every CNN channel, they talked about it every 15 minutes. Within 24 hours, it was stripped from the site and programming, from the internal journalist software, and even from the Wayback Machine. How do you do that?
I don't know if he meant his Wayback Machine or the actual archive.org.
No, it has to be.
Machine.
It's got to be. He has to be referring to the Wayback Machine, I think. I could be wrong. Rumor was that China would close our bureau in Beijing if we did not pull the story. Another unpopular.
But that's not really self-censorship. That is blackmail. Or,
or
coercion at best.
Well, I think this is what think Obama was referring to this too when he was bitching. Another unpopular history item was the op-ed in the New York Times from Eason Jordan in 2003. The news we kept to ourselves, quote unquote. He used to be a CNN bureau chief in Baghdad. Hard to tell how much of it was true, but it was timely in that it was written shortly after W gave Saddam his ultimatum. Same theme, but better details. If that is true, and it is indeed his real name, maybe the two. Maybe he also has a second source of income. A wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So anyway, the point is that self-censorship lives. Censorship lives.
Censorship. Well, yeah.
And extortion lives.
We have, unfortunately, neither here at the show.
No, we don't have enough.
No blackmailing, no extortion.
No blackmailing taking place.
We're just saving the world one person at a time.
And I hope the people out there appreciate our work.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was looking at people who have done this in the past. I would say, do you remember John Lennon when he and Yoko put up those signs on Times Square?
No.
Yeah, this was not long before he was killed. They had "Love is the Answer." It was the whole Yoko Ono plastic band. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Imagine, of course, was exactly about this. But he started to put his money and started saying, I'm putting my money into making peace and love. And I think that's when they said, let's get Chapman to go kill him.
Well, Chapman did seem like a MK Ultra character.
There's a lot of evidence pointing towards that. So yes, but what you were referring to is correct. There is absolutely no way that we could be doing the show if we ran by any of the traditional models, which is why we have your donations.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
Figure you might as well do it now. It's going to be short.
Yeah, we have a short segment here.
Yeah.
Let's begin with the one I read already, accidentally, Alex from Montevideo, Uruguay, who wants to remain anonymous because of all the Uruguayans, I guess. $111.11.
Thank you, sir.
We need some karma request for Ken. We'll put that at the end.
Do that for sure.
That's the wrong one. Don't mention my name. I'm sorry. All he says is don't mention my name. This is not the karma. We did the karma. Cameron Dodd, $100 from Houston, Texas. First-time donor. He requests a de-douching. We'll put a de-douching
at the end for sure.
Austin Voss in Calgary, Alberta, $100, LGY. Candace Hart in Austin, Texas.
Oh.
999, and she is a birthday present for her boyfriend, Nikosi.
Aw.
His birthday was January 2nd. I'm sorry for being late. I would love to send him some job karma. We'll put that at the end, just before the birthday thing.
And at one time at band camp, well, I'll do the band camp. When a girl is asking for band camp for her man, I mean, come on.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's so amazing. Okay, good. We'll do that.
Marco Strauss in Ithaca, New York. He's got $500.07 total, $96.69 on this one. He says the worst year forever. We need some karma. He lost a girlfriend. He still lost.
He's a country song, man. This guy lost my dog, lost my girlfriend, lost my job. Hey, I'd say things are looking up, man. Good start for the new year. Who needs all that?
Dame Beth Borazan in Tucson, Arizona, 8888. Adam, why would the Wall Street Journal run a story about Air Asia flying an unapproved route if not to offer an explanation for the apparent boo-boo?
Yeah, this is now all of a sudden some story that seems to be important, but it's not. It's not like an approved route. All of that was approved. The flight plan, everything was filed. It's just the government doesn't want them to fly that often, but it doesn't mean that has any bearing on the accident at all. And by the way, this plane came apart on the way down.
Nicholas Oman in Thief River Falls, Minnesota, 7777. Lauren Smith in Blyton, Lincolnshire, UK, 75. Got a birthday in there.
His daughter.
Dave Carey, 6969 in Clermont, Florida. Michael Gonsalves